First, I want to continue our thread about the New Orleans Saints and the Indianapolis Colts in Super Bowl number 44. And I really want to get into basically why I still think the Saints are going to win. And why I still happen to be the only guy in America that thinks so. And I'll get into why, even with Dwight Freeney being injured and out basically to the torn ligament and the high ankle sprain, that doesn't matter. The point spread goes down to half a point. Half a point! I can't believe that. You know, your best pass rusher is out of the game. I mean, even if he's on the field, he's not going to be very effective. And the whole point spread goes down half a point. Shows you how little people care about the Saints. And imagine, you're a Saints fan. How must you be reacting this week about all this? I mean, are you not the most disrespected franchise alive right now? That's ridiculous. I've seen some NBA teams go to NBA Finals and not be less respected than this New Orleans Saints team. This is the number one team in the NFC. They had the number one seed all year. They were undefeated for most of the season. They ended up, alright, they gave up a couple of games at the end of the year. They got punked by the Cowboys. They lost to the Bucs. Yes, at home. But this team is going to end up being an underdog in the Super Bowl. Well, by golly, it's just amazing. And it's really what the Vegas odds makers say is a calculation of what they think the public will bet. So it's not the odds makers' fault for making this decision. They're actually, the point spread's designed to get the most people to bet. As it stands, let's see, it appears that the New Orleans Saints are going to end up being a 5-point underdog. That's what I heard today at Sportsbook. We'll check for an update in a minute. We will. But I'm just amazed at this. I really can't get over how they've just been just pretty much thrown to the curb. Oh, well, you know, they looked so terrible in the NFC Championship game. All right, I'll give you that. They didn't look great. But look who they were playing. They were playing one of the more aggressive defenses available in the Minnesota Vikings. No, they're not a terrible defense. They're good defense. And now they're going to be playing a team that's less good, and that's being generous, in the Indianapolis Colts. So you're about to say now that they're underdogs? They played a better defense the week before. And now they're going to play this team, which is not as good defensively. They're maybe a little bit better offensively. A little bit better. But not a lot. You know, it's not like Brett Favre and the Vikings were a terrible team offensively. They scored a lot of points. They were pretty good at controlling the line of scrimmage. And they had a deep threat, although Favre probably made him, in Sidney Rice. They had another potential deep threat that obviously wasn't healthy, but still a good one in Percy Harvin. This was not a bad team. Okay, so the Saints played a little, they did not play up to their usual standard, even though they were at home. Perfectly understandable. And I'm not saying that the Saints are like 10-point underdogs or 12-point underdogs. No, the 5 points, it's pretty much a fair assessment, you know. The only thing better would probably be, well, if they were 3-point underdogs, but they're still underdogs. And it's just amazing how much the media hypes the Indianapolis Colts. It's just unbelievable. It really, really is. I'm just amazed. Did people forget how much the Colts used to choke in the playoffs? Did they forget how they got shut out at New England? Now I know it's a different team from that team way back in 2003. But did they suddenly forget that Peyton Manning has a chance to not perform in the big game? And he did okay. He did good in Super Bowl 41. Also played in Miami. But this is the thing about the Indianapolis Colts performances at the in Miami in general. You know, Super Bowl 5, people would go back to that game, the one that the Colts barely beat the Dallas Cowboys in what was decided by a field goal. But by all accounts, most people thought this was an ugly game. There's something about Miami and the Super Bowl, the Colts, and bad performances. This all just comes together here when you get into Miami. It's just unbelievable. Miami has got an interesting history with the Super Bowl. We'll touch on that in just a moment, but the bottom line is here, Dwight Freeney's chance for being effective gets more and more dire, and yet the actual impact on the predictions is very minimal. Which I think means two things. Number one, Dwight Freeney's probably overrated, and I think that's probably true. But number two, people are really overrating the Colts offense. Really, really overrating the Colts offense. Now the Colts have no defense. You know, they had a little defense when they had Dwight Freeney to rush the passer and keep things honest. But Dwight Freeney, whether he plays or not, is going to be pretty much a non-factor. Now the Colts have no defense, and it shows in the statistical rankings. Pretty much every statistical category except defense against the pass, which is about 14th. Thanks to my friend Andy Jacobson for digging that up, by the way. But pretty much every other statistical category, they're lower third, and in one category, they are second to last. This team's in the Super Bowl, folks. This team's in the Super Bowl. A team that has something that's second to last in the NFL is in the Super Bowl. Can you believe that? I can't believe that. It is just insane beyond belief. So you look at this line, it is exactly 5 points for the Colts. I'm not necessarily even complaining that the Colts are a 5-point favorite, but that nobody's going out for a reach. Usually in the Super Bowl you have like one or two teams that'll go out for a reach. Like, I might have one guy that says, the underdog might have a chance in this game, there might be a possibility. I might think they might do it. Nobody's reaching. Not one reach. By anybody. No reach. You go up and down every channel, every station, and almost publications, Colts. It's just unbelievable. So today, here on the show, we're going to get into that a little bit. We will talk to several guests, hopefully several, on the subject, and we'll get their opinions and what they think is going to happen here with Super Bowl 44. It is going to be a big one here in the city tonight, everybody. And it'll be a big event here on YouTube as well, even though all you see is me. Hi. And the Bulls are just continuing to get their ass kicked here by the Clippers right now. Boy. And so we have a few other headlines to get into in a moment, but for those of you YouTubers out there, stay with us. We have more to come here coming up.